All right, today I'll be talking from the book Anticancer by David Servan-Schreiber, MD, PhD. And one thing he talks about is mushrooms and how powerful they are. So in Japan, the shiitake, the maitake, the kawaratake, and the inokitake, if I said those right, are mushrooms that are staple foods. And so they're now found in hospitals as well because they are provided to patients during chemotherapy treatments. So the reason why is because they contain a molecule called lentinium, which stimulates the immune system directly. And for example, the rate of stomach cancer in Japan is as much as 50% lower for those who consume large amounts of these mushrooms compared to those who do not. In Japanese university studies, the number and activity of immune cells increase significantly in patients who consume mushroom extracts, and immune cell activity increases even within the tumor itself, which directly slows tumor growth. Also, researchers at the University of Kyushu, Japan, have shown that when these are consumed either during chemo or after chemo, colon cancer patients live longer. And the whole reasoning is that they're directly influencing the immune system, so it's better able to slow down tumor growth. And Richard Bellevue is a doctor that he talks about a lot in this book because he conducted so many great research studies in his laboratory. But he looked a lot at mushrooms as well, and specifically they have a great ability to fight off breast cancer cells. Also, he says that Asian mushrooms are not the only ones to have benefits. Other mushrooms, such as oyster mushrooms, have been found to be very effective. He also talks about berries. So, fruits such as strawberries and raspberries are super effective because they have a chemical called ellagic acid. And so, this basically detoxifies cells. In other words, it blocks the transformation of environmental carcinogens to becoming toxic substances, and it stimulates the elimination of toxins. A couple other foods that contain ellagic acid are walnuts, hazelnuts, and pecans. And basically, the being able to stimulate the elimination of toxins is so important because these toxins interact with DNA and provoke potentially life-threatening genetic mutations. So, ellagic acid is considered kind of a super food or super molecule that is very effective but doesn't have the side effects of a lot of other cancer treatments. And he also talks about cherries and blueberries. So, cherries contain glucaric acid, which is a substance that detoxifies the body by eliminating xenoestrogens, which come from environmental chemicals. Blueberries contain anthocyanidins and proanthocyanidins, which are molecules that are capable of forcing cancer cells, to commit cell suicide or apoptosis. And apoptosis is very popular in cancer research now because the problem with cancer cells is that they're almost invulnerable, and so they continue to live and multiply. And so we need to recover that ability to program cell death in those harmful cells. In the lab, these molecules act on several different types of cancers, but are particularly effective in colon cancer. Lastly, other sources that are rich in proanthocyanidins are cranberries, cinnamon, and dark chocolate. And then lastly, researchers at Ohio State University showed that people that consume black raspberries experience an inhibiting effect of cancers in the esophagus, the mouth, and the colon. So, a team of researchers led by Professor Gary Stoner used raspberry powder containing high concentration of anthocyanidins. And what they found, and they did this in rats, so they found that the group that contained the berry extract developed 50% fewer tumors than the control group. And they've done this on a small group of patients, of human patients, who have a certain type of polyp that leads to breast cancer. And so patients that took the black raspberry extract had up to 59% fewer of these polyps than those who were given a placebo. So there definitely needs to be more research on black raspberry and black raspberry extract in human subjects, but it's already been shown to be pretty effective super effective in lab rats and in some small population of humans. So that is it from the nutrition aspect of this book, and I hope that helps.